Okay, so intelligent document processing, or IDP for short, just be good to understand a little bit as to what exactly it is. Is it a brand new concept? Is it something that's evolved from another technology? Yeah, just give us the sort of brief introduction to IDP.
Okay, great. Yeah, IDP is, I guess you can call it a new concept, but it is literally just evolving from other technology that has been available in the market for a very long time. For example, machine learning, optical character recognition, natural language processing, and so forth. And although these technologies have been available for quite some time and have very often been referred to as artificial intelligence, like trying to interpret language and trying to find certain areas of a page potentially that I want to read information from. Quite different to generative AI. Discriminative AI would make decisions based on data. So we try to understand that data and then try to read that data. So is it new? It's a new concept, but it's really just evolving from current technology. Kind of don't even know where we're going to go to in the future.
Okay, so I think you hinted at there, but just be good to understand perhaps in a bit more detail. What is it that it offers over and above existing, I would call them traditional solutions, or at least existing, solutions that have been out there for a little while, shall we say?
Yeah, so IDP goes beyond those traditional solutions by combining intelligent data extraction, like AI-powered indexing and seamless workflow into the equation. So generally what you get, because it's this artificial intelligence engine that's making the decisions, it also learns. And based on that, it can even read handwriting or very low quality images. It can make sense of a complex table within an invoice or try to find the correct information within a contract. And that's the basics, right? But it has really taken all of this technology that has been built up over years and years in the industry, and it's really just evolved that to make us more compliant so that we can process tasks significantly quicker and in most cases completely remove human intervention.
Okay, which is a nice segue to the next question, because I was going to ask or state that automation seems to be an important, if not the most important aspect of IDP. So I guess it'd be good to understand, assuming that is the case, what are the particular benefits that it offers?
Yeah, the benefits is always obviously a very important conversation, and you can quickly say, yes, it reduces errors, generally reduces time, significantly improves turnover times, or reduce the amount of time that I spend on processing information in a manual way. But the real benefits are really uncovered when I take a look at what does our customers use it for, right? So in which industry are they? What horizontal or process are we currently looking at? And if you talk about those more specific process-orientated questions, then you really start understanding that people used to use automation to a certain extent, and they were talking about 70% accuracy and 80% accuracy. And we had to like check the data, but we had to confirm and things like that. Now I'm getting much more comfort in the fact that I know errors are actually very much reduced. So if we talk about benefits, it's really quite different across the industry, and you've got to take a look at the process specific. But those benefits that we used to get from automation are just significantly improved or have become real benefits that I can now tangibly feel immediately.
Okay, and are there other, I mean, automation brings with it a load of benefits. Are there other benefits from IDP that, where automation isn't a part of it, or is it pretty much automation and the benefits that brings is the whole game, if you like?
Yeah, if you had to start splitting that between smaller organizations and larger organizations, or what we refer to as enterprise companies and smaller companies, then what automation offers is generally more important, right? Because my volumes are significantly more. The quality of my documentation might not be great, but also we see that we create silos within the organization with systems that we implement. And we also see that because of those silos, I might have a lot of different types of software within my organization that does a similar thing. So we try to break down those silos. What's great about IDP is that it's not solution specific. And because it's not solution specific, I can't tell you there's one specific benefit, because the benefit for somebody using it for invoice processing, for example, or contracts management, or automating HR flow will be quite different. Although the main benefits of saving time and getting error-free processing would always be important. But I think that breaking down of the barriers and integrating into multiple solutions, allowing me to implement one single solution to automate the content flow of documents or content within my environment.
Okay, and you mentioned a couple of examples about how people might use it. I mean, are there some typical applications that you come across, or as you also explained, there are so many different companies in so many different industries using it in so many different ways? Just if you're able to, at least maybe give us a flavor of the ways in which people
absolutely. I think invoice processing remains the top one, and it will remain the top one for quite some time. We've seen electronic invoicing changing the market completely, and everybody's going crazy about it. And some countries have implemented it earlier and made some mistakes where other countries could learn from. But the technology these days are quite good, and it's starting to be implemented in many countries. But up until that point, and even after, decisions still needs to be made on that data. And invoice processing remains a very important one we see with our customers, especially if I've got complex invoices and a large volume of invoices, then invoice processing is absolutely critical. HR document management is important. I've got such a vast number of different documents within the environment, and it takes the HR team hours and hours and hours of time just to classify the information, just to make sure that they've got the right information. And these are use cases that IDP can solve for you quite easily. Other ones include contracts management, of course. To automatically process contracts is a massive benefit within an organization, also being notified of those contracts afterwards. Claims processing within insurance. Mailroom automation, we've seen quite often where I'm getting a lot of mail pieces and I need to distribute those very often in a manual way. And compliance audits. Right. So what is it that I don't have, and what is it that I have, and how can I automatically report on it? There's a couple of main examples, I would say.
Okay, and I know customers can often be reticent as to putting their heads above the parapet and saying, yes, this is what was happening beforehand, and this is how we've solved that potential problem. But are you able to share, I don't know, one or two customer examples as to the real world benefits as to what they were doing and how you've been able to help them improve their processes, if you like?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. I'll leave invoice processing out of the equation because we do that every day, and we'll touch on those special use cases that we see from our customers. We very recently implemented a solution where our customer is a logistics company, and they needed to match at least 12 to 18 different types of documents, always in a manual way. And these included things like waybills, weighbridge tickets, delivery notes, invoices, waybills from other companies. And it was quite difficult because they could come in from various sources. Some of them could take more than a week to come in. Some of them will take a month to come in. Some of them will come in today. Also very important, these documents were of low quality. They were printed on line impact printers. I normally get the third copy. And they handled in trucks, which makes them not always the cleanest document, if I can put it that way. IDP got an excellent rate of reading the data of the documents, automatically classified the documents, extracted the data, even handwriting, notified any marks on the page that it need to make, and automatically collated these files and notified the user of any documents that is missing, which you can imagine is a massive benefit for a logistics company. It means that they can invoice much, much earlier and know immediately if there's any documents missing from the process that they need to invoice with. Another one that is a little bit simpler is an HR solution, because a lot of our customers have HR files all over the place. They've got them in back file, so on a hard drive somewhere on the server where they've stored some documents, and they also have hard copy documents within their file cabinet. And IDP immediately sorts out all of the electronic invoices, automatically classifies them, and indexes the information if it knows how. And of course, some might say, but what if it doesn't know how? It learns. And based on the backend, will report to a user if there's any information that needs to be captured additionally. So quite a big benefit having to not manually sort through those files.
Okay, and in terms of where we are at this moment in time with IDP, is it fairly early days for the technology, or is it already being well understood and well used? Yeah, what's the current scenario with
Mm. Yeah, good question. The IDP is transitioning from early adoption to like more mature mainstream market. So companies are implementing IDP can now immediately see the benefits, right? They can immediately start feeling faster processing and so forth. But is it evolving? Absolutely yes. And will it continue evolving for a number of years to come? I believe so. IDP is basically evolution of optical character recognition, machine learning, and natural language processing engines, as I've mentioned before. And you can expect these solutions to continue evolving over the medium term, over the long term, because the system is learning. But we are also learning because every time that we implement for our customers, we find new and innovative ways in which we can continue to optimize and improve the process, which generally has a very big impact for the business, and that is very exciting.
Okay, so I mean, you've explained there that it's going to be evolving over the next year, but I guess you must have, whether you can share it or not, done some kind of sums as to the potential for IDP. So, do you think there's massive potential compared to where you are now? It's going to be steady growth. Just your thoughts, I guess, as to what the opportunity is going to look like over the next few years.
Worldwide, and especially in the United Kingdom, businesses are under pressure, right? They are under pressure. The budget has been released, and everybody's a little bit worried. And everybody is looking to cut costs, cut costs. And the important thing when cutting costs is I don't necessarily want to get rid of heads, but I want to improve the efficiency within my organization. I want to completely remove errors. So the more automated I can be, the more it's going to make sense. So it being around for a long time, absolutely yes. Is it going to make a massive difference to revenues of our partners? Is it going to make a massive difference to our customers? Yes, it absolutely will. And as the solution evolves and it starts including more generative AI capabilities and starting to make decisions for us where it makes a lot of sense, then the sky's the limit. So the next big thing, absolutely.
Yeah, and in terms of where your sales are at, I think fairly recently you launched the DocuWare IDP solution. And just to clarify, was that the first time you've launched it, or is it the latest iteration? What have you brought to market fairly recently?
Uh, Well, that is an interesting question because we continue discovering new application areas, right? So IDP for DocuWare is theoretically a new product, intelligent document processing, which is evolving from our long-time product, DocuWare Intelligent Indexing. And we felt it prudent to, at this time, give it a new name. Although intelligent indexing will always exist, especially for our customers with lower volume and that's got less complex requirements, because intelligent indexing is an excellent machine learning and natural language engine. AI has just evolved that. Because it's an AI engine, it looks at the page, it doesn't read the text. So the OCR layer, which we still call it, is just significantly better. So although it is a new product with a new name, ultimately delivers similar results, although we're getting better automation and better accuracy from the solution. Just removing human intervention and making things smarter and faster.
And for those folks that are interested in the technology, following it up, any advice? I mean, is it something that can replace? Can they get rid of some existing applications? Because I know everyone's desperately trying to
Mm.
how should we say, get rid of software sprawl, whatever you want to call it, and try and reduce the amount of apps they get. Is that possible, or are they adding? Is it another layer to add to the software stack? Just what do people need to look at when they're considering intelligent document
Yeah.
processing in terms of their expectations?
Look, firstly, I would advise people to stick to their normal buying process. And that's very important. People very quickly get frustrated with something and then they want to pull the trigger. I would stick with a normal buying process. Start identifying the core problems or challenges that you have within the organization and understand if the current solution that we have in place are still addressing those problems. If they are not, then I have to replace it. If they are, then I can keep it. But there could potentially be something out there that that is better for us. And for that reason, it's education. there's loads of webinars available with DocuWare and with other people where we can learn a little bit more about what IDP does. A salesperson is always happy to jump on a call and show people a demonstration. How would the product work? And how would it work for me within my organization, understanding the problems? But get a trusted advisor. Get somebody that you really trust that you can consult with to take a look at your problems and whether it is even necessary to replace the other product. Whether IDP would fit into a business is, I dare say, quite simple to understand because I can automatically process information. And every business has a lot of that.
Okay, and maybe just finally, in terms of we talked a lot about the technology and what it can do for the end user. I'm just wondering for the middle folks, if you like, the channel, the MSPs, what do you think is the opportunity? You can perhaps tell us a little bit about where you are at the moment with channel and how you potentially wanting it to grow. Just what is the opportunity for an MSP when it comes to IDP?
Yeah, so DocuWare is a partner-led organization, which means we obviously deal with channel partners very, very often and constantly, right? So it's a very big part of our market. And it's all about a differentiator. The revenue aside, AI in general is a game changer, and some sales organizations haven't fully embraced it, right? They might be using it, but they haven't fully embraced it. And once they fully embrace it, they'll understand that it makes a massive difference to the way that they do business, to the way that they communicate, to how quickly they can get information out there. I don't want to use it blindly. I still want to apply myself in all of my communication. But also offering AI to my customers is also a game changer. Whatever I can offer to my customers that have a significant impact on their business means I'm a trusted advisor that they'll talk to forever. Because the moment that they understand what the benefit is of process automation, I can continue automating processes for that one customer forever. And because I'm a trusted advisor, they'll always come back to me. So reluctance to adopt new technology is one thing, but then also those that remain behind will never be as efficient.
Okay, it's been great to chat to you, David, and some brilliant insights into intelligent document processing, and also obviously a little bit as to what's going on at DocuWare itself. So really appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Philip. It was great talking to you and hope we do so in the future again.